Hello, fellow citizens. This is Klexarus, and I wanted to put together a quick world builder kind of introduction tutorial for people who wanted to start playing around with things prior to the introduction of the rental worlds. Before we get started, I just real quick want to mention that this is going to lack all of the polish that Javita's videos have. It's going to lack the genius of Ovis's videos, and I possess none of the technical prowess that Simoid or Mayumichi or others have. This is just kind of going to be a for dummies by a dummy intro video. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and open up World Builder. To do that, you're just going to hit play within Steam, and instead of hitting play Boundless, you're going to launch World Builder and hit play on that instead. You are then introduced to this kind of blank screen. To start, we're going to go to File, New, and World. That's what you're going to do every time. And when we do that, you see there's some things on the left and some things on the right. On the right, you have your nodes. World Builder uses a node system. So as you can see, there's a generator and the world. The generator, if you can see it as I drag it around by left clicking and dragging, it's got this gray dot that kind of links over to this other gray dot. That color coding is pretty important. It's how everything within World Builder works. You're kind of connecting the dots, so to speak. So to start off, we're going to go over to our unnamed world. I'm going to right click on it and I'm just going to change it to test world. Hit enter, and there it's renamed. Before we start messing with everything on the left or everything on the right, we're going to go and look at this palette. To get to the palette quickly, I'm going to minimize by clicking on all of these down arrows. Everything over on the left, there's a whole bunch of stuff over here, but per this color scheme, the palette is pink, so instead of the palette node, we're actually going to look at world color nodes. It's at the very bottom, so I've minimized nearly everything. There we go. And now it's at the bottom, easy to find. I'm going to go ahead and expand this, and you'll see that there's a bunch of stuff here as well. I'm kind of going to skip over a lot of this because what I found it easy to use is you've got base or basic. To add a node over to the right, you're just going to click on whatever option on the left you want. So for base, I'm going to go and click it, and I get a new pink node that says base world colors. If you look at it, it's got a blocks option and a creatures option, and then you can kind of see a preview of all of these different blocks down below. So if I expand this out by clicking blocks, it's going to give me pretty much everything that can be color tinted. And then from there, you've got these now blue dots that, as you might have guessed, link up to the palette nodes option. Before we move on with that, let's take a look at the basic option. Go and load basic up. I'm going to click and drag to get rid of the generator, or to at least get it out of the way. And go ahead and maximize the screen. The basic world options, instead of having to click and drag, you can kind of just choose from within here what color you want to use. So if I want my silty soil to be a kind of nice blue, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now you might notice that this silty soil has 3 colors to it. My guess is that if we use the palette nodes, and again there's a ton of stuff here, I'm just going to do this single color picker, and it seems to work decently well. You've got a color option here and then a visualization. So I'm going to pop open this visualization, and I'm going to try and choose that kind of blue color. And the blue that it visualizes looks like the middle option. So my guess, and I haven't tested this out yet, is that the middle color is going to be the one that you get with these guys over on the right. But if you don't want to leave it to fate, you can use the single color palette picker node and individually click and link it to each and every color you want, which gives you full control of your world. So for people who care a lot about the colors and they want the exact shade or exact hue, it looks like there's some other options here that might be worth looking at. But for someone who just kind of wants a general bluish green color scheme, you can just kind of pick and choose with the basic world colors node. Before we get too much further, I want to show you guys how to save your world. So we're going to go up to File, we'll save as, and it's really important that you're in this Worlds option within the files. I'm going to go ahead and just save this as test world. All right. Now that we've got some colors, we're just going to use the ones within the basic just to kind of see it, I guess, a little bit. Let me just pick some things for rocks real quick. We'll make our rocks kind of reddish. And we'll hopefully get to see these here in a little bit. Going back to the generator now, there's a bunch of things here that I'm not going to go over quite yet because this is just kind of an introduction. So I just want to look at the biomes first. So on the bottom, I'm going to go and click Add Biome, and we'll add a couple biomes in here. Your biome nodes are going to be on the top left. They're going to be the topmost option. I'll go ahead and click to expand, and I'm going to minimize some of these subgroupers here. You can see that there's a lot, so we've got all the different tiers, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. And then you can create a new custom biome, which I might do in a later video. But for now, I like Tier 3 worlds a lot, so we're just going to kind of add some butts. Everyone loves butts, so we'll throw some butts in there on the bottom, and then elephant graveyard, sure. We'll go ahead and add and connect. It's always important to make sure that you're connecting your nodes. Now, right now we have a functional world. I mean, it's going to be pretty ugly because it's not very nicely colored, but we can kind of take a peek at it within this chunks by clicking on this blue little circle, and it's going to kind of visualize this for us. So you can see we've got our butts at least, and you can see the colors that we picked already taking effect. All of the rocks here are red, so you can see kind of the different shades as it goes up the mountain, the kind of layers, if you will. Now, within this one chunk, I'm not seeing any real elephant graveyard stuff going on, but that's okay, because the other way of visualizing is using the green button. If you click the green button, the game is going to say that it started a server for you. And to join the server, you need to launch Boundless from the title bar. What it's asking you to do here is click Launch Client up at the top. So we'll go ahead and click that, and it's going to might take some time depending on how complex your world is. Looks like this one's booting up pretty quickly, but it's basically going to launch your own private instance of Boundless, where you can just go and check out your world. So we'll give it a second here to launch. One thing to note is that when you do launch this private world, you start with a torch, and you're starving, but you have, I think, full skills, so you can run at max speed and you can double jump. I'm not sure if you can fly or not. I haven't really toyed around with it that much. This red is killing my eyes, so I apologize to everyone else who has to deal with this. But I can run around this world and just kind of explore and make sure that it's really up to par with everything that I want it to be. Right now, I'm really thinking maybe the butts is enough, so I want to delete the elephant graveyard. So I'm going to go ahead and quit right now. We'll confirm quitting. It says it's going to take us back to the sanctum, but it really just closes that down. I want to get back to my world config, so I can either click that to get over to it, or since I'm not using this generator anymore for this server, I'm going to go ahead and just close that tab out, and we'll go back to our world config. So I want just the butts. I don't want the elephant graveyard anymore. This red X will go ahead and get rid of the elephant graveyard, and let's just see what that looks like with just the butts. So I'm going to do the blue visualization just because it's a little faster. And you'll notice that when I do this, it loads in just an empty box. It's just a 3D little kind of rectangular square type shape. The reason for that, if I close out of this generator, is that this green node needs something. So as long as it's empty, it's going to kind of crash on you. So you want to go ahead and click on the X to delete the biome so you don't have anything empty. And then you'll click the blue again, and I've got my butts back, because everyone likes butts. So there we are, and it's kind of loading up. As you kind of get going with World Builder, you can just test out the different biomes. But as you'll notice, there are many other types of nodes. There's noise, cell noise, different decorations, there's strata, substrate, etc., etc. So in future videos, I might try to talk about some of those, but those are a little more advanced. And this is really just kind of a tool to get people going, so you can kind of play around with the biomes, combine things, see what you like, and just kind of go from there. So if you guys like the video, please let me know on the Boundless forums, and I'll see about maybe creating some extras. But this should hopefully get some people going, creating some fun new worlds. See you guys in game. Thanks.